Bringing you another Yugioh Master Duel video, and in today's video I'm going to be finally bringing you guys another meta report. It's going to be their meta report for this past week, so it's going to be January 30th through February 5th. There were quite a few tournaments, honestly, during this time period. Not all of them were the format that I personally prefer, but, you know, tournaments nonetheless. That's just good for the community. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were 6 tournaments by my counting. Yeah, at least the ones that were recorded on Master Duel Meta. So without further ado, let's jump right on in with the first. It is the Hay Cup number 45. This was 33 players, single elim, 1 deck, best of 1 before semifinals, and best of 3 for semis and finals, of course. I don't love this format, but, you know, again, it's better than nothing, and at least there's best of 3 at some point. So the winning deck list was Runick. Everybody's favorite, Runick. Yeah, control, stun. Nothing exciting here. There's 1 Desires. I don't really know why you're playing 1. I guess it was just like a 40th card. I guess that's fair. Your Runick ratios look really weird to me. But I also don't play Runick stun. If I play this deck, I play like Runick Synchro, which is only a slightly less toxic. But anyways, yep. All the fun stuff. Extract's pretty just, whatever. Second place, we had a Swordsoul. Nothing too crazy here. There's no circle. I don't agree with that personally, but I understand why you might not play it. No blackout in the main deck. That's a little weird. No drag eye in the extra deck. That's a little weird to me. Wombaxia. I also think that's a little weird, but you can get by with Wombaxia. 3 Cosmics over a 3rd for Shuda. I don't really get that, but, you know. Some people just like Cosmic more than, you know, one of the most versatile cards in the game. Sorry, that was a little sarcastic. You know, I don't mean to be mean. But I just think this card's insane. This card's just so broken. But also, 2-Max-Z. What is with people in 2-Max-Z? I don't get it. I took time off for this game because people were pissing me off. Then I come back, people are playing 2-Max-Z. I don't understand. It's the most broken card ever. Anyways, moving on. We got an E-Hero. It's like a Isolde. Isolde, however you pronounce this card thing. Isolde, like, hero combo. Gosh, these decks are so fun to watch, but so not fun to play against. It's basically just hand looping, right? No, you're not playing the, this guy. You're not playing Charles. Why aren't you playing Charles, bro? Isn't that how you hand loop? Yeah, whatever. I don't care that much. Yeah, anyways, this is just like, you know, combo, heroes, warrior combo. Kind of cool. Top 4, we have a Mathmech, microcode in the main deck, with the Sign of Conflict. I don't personally agree with that for best of 1, because there's going to be like 50% of the games you're going second, and like that's just terrible going second. Not microcoder. Microcode is fine going second. Sign of Conflict is just terrible going second, but you know, a bit of a trade-off. Yeah, okay. Also, 1 Sigma. It's kind of wild. Punishes like bad players. DD crowing this. But anyways, or well, you get punished as the Mathmech player, only playing 1 if you're playing against someone that misplays and DD crows that. Extra deck. No Link Disciple. Devotee. I kind of agree with that. I'm going back and forth whether I think Disciple and Devotee's good. But anyways, also I changed the this is kind of random, but I changed like the settings on my mic because I noticed I was like really quiet in my last video, so hopefully I'm not too loud this time. But anyways, let's hope. Moving on to the next tournament here, we got the something CS Winners Tournament number 11. That's nice, you know, calling your participants winners. That's great. It's an invitational tournament. Okay, I actually didn't know that before I pulled this up without actually reading that. Cool. Single elim, 1 deck, 15 card side deck, best of 3. So great format, you know, traditional TCG, OCG format. I love it. I think that's how Master Duel should be played, but, you know, also I know how that's not how it is played. But first place, we have a Floowandereeze deck. Wonderful. Gotta love to see it. Yeah, 43 cards. Don't know why the heck you're playing 43 cards in Plunder, but you are, and you're also playing consistency cards like Jack in the Hand at 43 cards. It makes no sense. But okay, I digress. Yeah, this is basically like the list people were playing in the Duelist Cup, you know, minus like the Jacks, I think. I don't think people are playing the Jacks in the Duelist Cup, but yeah, I mean, it's just like a freaking Floowandereeze deck. I hate this deck. But it's like not that toxic anymore, which is good. And also, I'm so glad Chips is at 2. But it says they're playing 3. I guess this was just like a pre-ban list thing. But anyways, whatever. Moving on, extra doesn't matter. Side deck, siding econs. That's crazy. Surprised you like you're gonna see this a lot in Sprite. Well, not a lot, but some in Sprite. But I'm surprised you're gonna see it. You see it in Floowandereeze. It makes sense. I mean, it's like basically just more Advents, just like a way worse version of Advent, and also like a kind of a worse version of Book of Moon. Not necessarily a worse version of Book of Moon, just a different version of Book of Moon. It's only going second. You can only play this going second. It just lets you dodge like stuff like Valor and Emperor. So yeah. Then we got a second place Shaddoll deck. 60 card Shaddolls with 3 grass. Okay, so this is a pre-banless tournament. So sorry, I should have probably not shown this because I, don't really like. This is not the format anymore. But anyways, we're already doing it, so screw it. What is your E-Tele for? Is your E-Tele really just for Ogre and for Windy? What do you, why? That's in, well, I guess Gamma. That doesn't seem very good. I guess, like, E-Tele for Windy's not that bad. But, anyways. Yeah, I don't know how this deck wins, to be honest with you. It does good. I just don't know how it wins. Like, it just seems, like, so bad. But it always does good. There's a lot of people that have success with it. Top 4, we got a Mathmech. Yeah, so this is just more pure Mathmech, except like you're playing the microcoder, sign a conflict again. It's the best of 3, so I'm like more okay with this. I was like, do not know why you're playing 3 Sigmas. I guess like you're just really scared of like chain disappearance on Sigma, even though I'm pretty sure that's only normal summon monsters. Spell. That would help. Oh no, if it's just summoned. Okay, that's cool. I mean, I know people used to hit like Tour Guide with this and like Insector Hornet and what else? The Mystic Shine Balls from Agents. Anyways, just shows how old I am. But yeah, I don't know why you're playing 3 Sigmas, but that's cool, I guess. Whatever works for you. Don't play 3 Sigmas if you're trying to build Mathmech. It's not good. Play 2 and 2 and 2. Or like 2 and 3 and 3, I think, personally. But I digress. Moving on. Playing like Firewall and stuff. Firewall's okay. I mean, like, I think the extra deck's way too tight to be playing those, but, to each their own. Like, I mean, you came in, like, what, 3rd place, top 4 at a tournament that I didn't even play in, so, good for you. Also, I don't know why you're playing Code Talker, but I guess, I know it. No, this makes sense. You're playing Code Talker, just have a rank 2 option for microcoder, whereas like normally you just have like rank 3 options. So I get that. I don't know if it's necessary, but I do understand it. The extra, I really don't know why Ice Dragon's Prison's in this over like Solemns. I think Solemns are probably just like better than this card going first. I guess this can be a going second card in some situations. Not terrible going second. It's way better than the Solemns, but it's just not a good going second card either. 2 Chalices, 1 Droplet. I guess, Droplet's pretty bad right now, but, well, I shouldn't say it's, like, pretty bad. It's, like, mediocre right now. It's really only good against Mathmech, but in Chalice, it's, like, way better against Despia. So, yeah, I guess that makes some sense. But, yeah, no, overall, this makes sense. Cosmic's should either be in the main side for Runick's. Yeah. Droll's also, like, pretty good right now. Moving on to a top 4 branded Shaddolls. So yeah, these Japanese Chinese tournaments, like these guys love their Shaddolls. That's awesome. I love it. I think the decks are super cool. I just don't think they're very good, and I don't know how they get them to work, but they do. And this one's bricked out to the max. Jeez, you're playing. Well, I guess it's not that bad. Neos Fusion, like, you can send it from your hand. Okay, so you can send it from your hand. I was gonna say, like, were you really playing Neos and Gamma, and Driver, and like all these other cards you just don't want to draw? Like, that's okay. There's just like a lot of like, I don't know what the term is. I guess Garnet is the term for it. Of cards you just like don't want to draw. whatever it is, whatever the Yugioh slang is. The side deck's a little weird. I mean, this is like, so this make, okay, so this basically, the whole point of this, you just like send this to the graveyard with like one of your fusion spells. So I'm sure you can Neos Fusion for something. Yeah, basically you just send it. And how does this work? 1 level 4 insect. So you send Gokipole to the graveyard, and you add Retaliating Sea, then somehow you send this card from the field to the graveyard to add Max C. So there's probably some combo this guy's doing just to like search Max C on turn 1, which is really cool. I mean, that's super toxic, and I love it. I'm super here for it. It's crazy what people come up with. But anyways, yeah. Moving on. Okay, that's the end of it. So again, like, take all these deck lists with a grain of salt because they're all old ban lists, but you know, still like good frameworks for like stuff you can play if you're interested in playing any of those decks. Moving on to main phase number 6. Main phase 2 number 6. This is the new DLE hosted Master Duel tournaments. I don't know why they switched from their old format. Their old format seemed kind of good to me. And this one, personally, I just think this one's like not good. It's single elim. You can play any deck you want, so there's no deck checks. It's best of 1. Like, I had a big dispute because a guy was like playing 60 cards and had a bunch of like, opened a bunch of 2-ofs. And I was like, okay, like, are you actually like abiding by the ban list, or like what's going on here? And we couldn't check his deck. I don't think he was cheating because he showed his deck on stream. So yeah, I don't think he was cheating. It just like, I was like, how can you have a tournament where you don't submit deck list? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, people are going to cheat. Like, people are just going to cheat. But that's neither here nor there. That's me rambling about stuff that, it's not my problem because I'm not the one hosting it. I'm just playing in them. Anyways, there were 66 players, single elim, play any deck, best of 1, like I said. First place was a Salad deck with a Mathmech engine. So this is really, really cool. I was considering like exploring this a little bit more because like this might be better than Mathmech. And like that might be bold to some people. Some people might think I'm crazy for saying that, but I think this deck might be the best Cyberse deck in the game, and it's just unexplored because we have 3 Gazelles. We basically have unlimited Salamangreat, plus we have unlimited Mathmechs, and like they just synergize. It's gonna like the synergy's there. The synergy's definitely there, and I think this is really underexplored. But I think this could be one of the best decks in the game if people like spend some more time on it. The only issue is like there's so many normal summons in the deck. Like you're playing Diameter and you're playing Buffalo, so like there's conflicting normal summons there. You also do play a lot of like pseudo bricks. So like however you want to call them, like cards that you just like you don't want to draw them because you can search them, like Sanctuary, like Roar, like Superfectorial. You're playing a lot of those, like Diameter, to be honest with you, like Sigma. You're playing a lot of that stuff, and you don't want to like draw those cards because you can search them so easily. But I still think this deck is really, really cool, and there's a lot of potential here. So if you like Cyberse, please explore this and like send me deck lists because I'm excited about it. But the extra deck, this looks pretty standard for the most part. It doesn't look like anything too crazy. Playing 1 of each Exceed. Baguska is 100% mandatory in Salad. It's like one of the best inboard cards you can make. Granted, it does conflict a little bit with the Mathmech stuff, but you can also just like win just straight through Baguska because of Baguska. I mean, so that's really cool. You don't need any other link ones, which is nice because all the cyber stuff counts as like you can just link into Baylings, which is really cool. So Baylings counts as your links. You probably should be playing 3 of these, but I really don't know how you fit room for all this stuff. 2 Wolves, I think that's all you can play. 1 update, of course, the double Splash Mage. I think this is probably correct. You might be able to get away with 1 because you can make Heat Soul so easy in this deck. You probably don't need to use this on turn 1, but again, we will see. Oh, actually, it might be mandatory because you need different attributes for Heat Soul. I forgot about that. So 2 Splash Mage might be mandatory, but you can explore and see. 1 Transcode, you know, the one Helio. You might be able to get away without playing this, but you probably should play it. The 1 Heat Soul, of course, and the 1 Axis for game. So again, I know I talked a lot about this deck, but I just think this deck is really cool and very unexplored. Moving on to second place, we have Mathmech Ignister. No, not Mathmech Ignister. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Just pure Ignister. Really shocked to see pure Ignister doing good. Mathmech really made this deck way better. But, you know, the pure Ignister, it can still move. I mean, it can still, like, you know, put up those arrivals that just win games for you. So, it's pretty cool. I don't know how mandatory, I don't know how, like, often this is played. I don't know this deck super well. They're not playing blue, which I know that's not mandatory, but something to note. I'm playing 2 Signet Minings. I don't know if Fighting Spirit is usually played, but it doesn't look like it normally is. I don't know. Someone who knows Ad Ignister better than me can comment on that. But yeah, 2 islands. I think that's probably incorrect. I think 3 is probably right because most of the time people are going to Valor or Ash or Dark Infant, which is what you should do. So you should play 3 of these just so you draw it. But again, you know, he came in second place and I lost in the first round of the tournament. So, you know, there's, you know, he might know what he's doing. Double access, I don't know if that's necessary, but it makes sense. I get it. 2 Splash Mage, I definitely think that's correct in this deck. Other than that, like, yeah, it looks pretty normal, if I do say so myself. Top 4, we have Plunder. That's awesome. I can't wait for this deck to get support. It's gonna get support. It's getting support, or it got support in OCG, like a new Synchro, I'm pretty sure. I know you guys like really care about the unreleased support for Plunder, but it's this guy right here, Jord, and apparently this card's like broken. Like lets you search and it lets you do a bunch of other stuff. Anyways, I'm not gonna take the time to read it, but I know it's like really good. Maybe when we get that card, this deck will be like actually competitively viable. But as for now, it's shocking that this guy topped, and it's shocking in a really cool way because, like, you know, it's good to see other stuff top. I've played against this deck like a handful of times. I really don't know what the deck does like that much, but every time I play it, I'm not scared of it, and I kind of just like destroy it. But you know, this guy topped with it, and that's really cool. I wish I could tell you guys what's standard and what's not, but yep. 42 cards. I mean, that's got to be like incorrect, right? In Adventure, like that's all I can say. Like, all I know is like that's probably got to be incorrect because like you want to see your Adventure cards. So, but anyways, that's my only comment, and it's because they're playing evenly, and it's because it's the best of 1. Because Master Duel kind of sucks, or at least the way people play Master Duel, at least the way tournament organizers do it, it sucks sometimes. Anyways, moving on to 3rd/4th, you got a Drytron deck. Is it just like instead of going for Herald, you're just going for like the turn skip, which is like kind of worse, right? Because it just like skips their main phase 1 and their battle phase. Oh no, it skips their entire turn because it's a full turn skip. Because if you don't have main phase 1, or if you don't actually conduct your battle phase, you go straight to end phase. Yeah. Anyways, that's why Runick is kind of like frustrating to play. How do they? Oh, they Beatrice. How do they do this? So they Beatrice. I'm assuming they Beatrice send the Thunder of Ruler from the deck to the graveyard. Then Griffin set it. Or does this send too? You can send 1 card from your deck to the graveyard. Yeah. Okay. So they either Beatrice or Curious send the Thunder of Ruler, reset it with the Griffin, and then a Morphactor Pain, skip their main phase 1, skip their battle phase, go straight to end phase in their turn, and then just OTK the next turn. So super cheesy, but probably works sometimes. You know, I mean, he got top 4, so probably sometimes works. I still think Herald is like way better. So if you're gonna play Drytron, just play Herald. But yeah, moving on to the China Master Duel Tiba weekly number 36. We had 66, not we, they had 66 players, 6 rounds best of 1 into a best of 3 top 16, 1 deck, 15 card side deck. Here is the breakdown. There are only 8 decks featured on here, so I'm just going to like talk, well, there's only 8 deck list shown, so I'll just go ahead and go over this really quickly. There are 4 Mathmechs, 2 Sky Strikers, 1 was Runick, Sky Striker, 2 Swordsoul Tenyis, 2 branded Shaddolls, 1 Adventure PK, fan rights, 1 Machina, Curry, so Earth Synchro combo, 1 Numeron Ignister, what? Maybe I missed this when I was looking through the deck list earlier. That's kind of... I hope that's on here, because I swear I had to have missed that. 1 Mathmech, 1 Drytron, and 1 Dogmatica Spellbook. Okay, anyways. Moving on to first place, Adventure Phantom Knights. 43 cards. That's 43 cards, 2 maxi. That's got to be incorrect. Like, there's no way that's right. 1 Bell. No, there's no way. Like, that's definitely not correct. But, it worked, I guess. I'm not, like, the most proficient with Phantom Knights. Like, you know, I know the deck fairly well. I've played the deck competitively, but I'm not, like, a main Phantom Knights player. But, like, this is just not right. So don't play. If you're planning to play this deck, don't play 43 cards. You know, like, play 3 maxi. I mean, you can play Bell. Bell's really good right now. But do not play over 40 cards, like, by playing these extenders. I don't think that's correct, personally. I mean, I think you should be playing extenders, but I don't think you should go over 43 with them. I also think this card, Salamangreat, is completely unnecessary. I think, to be honest, like, I mean, Lancia is fine. Like, a lot of people play Lancia in this, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Do not play, like, Mallies if you're going over 43. Like, just play Dasher. Don't play 3 of these if you're going over 40. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Extra deck looks really standard and honestly pretty correct. I like this package a lot. I also, actually, no, it's not standard. Like, Zeus is 100% mandatory in this deck, in my opinion. But they're not playing it because they're choosing to play this, I'm assuming. But I think Zeus is mandatory. Yeah. Anyways, that's my 2 cents. Extra deck does a lot of, like, hand traps and stuff for certain matchups. I get it. I mean, it's nice that you can do this. Normally you can't do this in best of 1 no side deck or best of 3 no side deck, but it's really nice that you're able to in this format. Striker got second with 1/1/1 of each of these hand traps. So I know previously... Oh, this is like Striker Runick. Okay. So, to be honest, I don't know Striker Runick. I've never seen this deck played. I know the synergy is definitely there, but I've never seen this deck played. So I don't know what the ratios would be for it, but this seems correct, at least for the most part. I think 2 Rays probably incorrect, but you also draw so many cards in this deck that it probably doesn't matter that much. Yeah. And also, like, maybe linkage, like, makes Ray a little bit more obsolete. Not like that it's obsolete, but that it just, like, you don't need Ray, which I get. But I still think 3 Rays correct. But anyways. I used to hate a lot on single hand traps. Like, why are you playing 1 Imperm? Why are you playing 1 Veiler? Like, why are you playing 1 of all this stuff? And I kind of want to backtrack my stance on that, because I stand by it for the most part. Like, why the hell are you playing 1 Ogre? Like, what is Ogre for? Like, what in the metagame are you playing Ogre for? That Imperm or Veiler would not be better. Like, those are way better. Like, Plunder, maybe, but even then, like, Imperm and Veiler is just so good against those decks. So I don't know why this is in the deck. So, like, that 1 of I definitely criticize. The 1 of Bell I don't criticize as much, because sometimes, like, you just don't want to go over 40 cards, or sometimes, like, you just don't have room for more of them, and it's, like, better to play, like, 1 Bell than it is to play, like, no Bells, right? But realistically, I think you should be playing 2 Bells in this scenario over 1 Ogre. But unless there's a reason for Ogre that I'm just completely missing, which is totally possible, but I don't think I am. As far as Nib goes, being a 1 of, you know, this is getting into, like, other kind of theory, but Nib as a 1 of I am much more okay with than, like, just, like, a random 1 Bell and random 1 Ogre. Or I think those should be, like, 2 ofs, you know, if you're playing. I'm sorry you guys are seeing these ads. Like, that seems very not, like, okay to be just showing on this video, and I'm sorry about that. Whatever. Now I'm just rambling. Okay. But Nib seems more, like, permissible as 1 of, because you can theoretically just, like, Nib is only really good if you have 2 hand traps, right? So going max C into Nib is fantastic, but going, like, max C into Bell is, like, way less of an impact. or like maxi into Ash, just like way less of an impact. If that makes sense. Because most of the time, if they're pushing to the maxi challenge, they're trying to just like destroy you and just OTK you that turn. And usually, like one Bell, one Ogre, one Ash is not going to prevent that. But Nib could, right? But I don't know. I kind of want to like retract some of my old statements about that because I don't think I was 100% correct. I think my line of thinking is correct, but sometimes in application, like that rule doesn't always make sense to like always play more than one copy. Because I've noticed like sometimes I'm at like 49 cards or like 39 cards. And I'm like, okay, well I just want to play like one Veiler, right? You know, something like that. Or I want to play like one Veiler, one Imperm to have nice cross-out targets. So, but they're also not playing cross-out, so the singles don't really make any sense even more. But whatever. Rambling. Side deck doesn't look anything too crazy, just like matchup dependent stuff. I lost to this card the other day in DK's tournament. I was so salty. I was like, who the heck plays Raigeki in the main deck? What are you playing this for? But it's okay. It's okay. I also lost because I was bad, not because he played Raigeki. But yeah, anyways. I'll talk about that in a little bit. We got top 4 machine combo, like machine synchro. I don't know enough about this deck to like really comment on it. All I know is Regulus is insane. The Machina cards are insane. Or Machinas. I'm probably saying Machina. Machina's probably not correct. Machina? Yeah, Machina's probably correct. Anyways. This deck's insane. Like when it pops off, this deck pops off. I want to build this deck so bad and just play around with it, but I don't think it's very good. And they're also playing the Auroradon stuff. That's wild. That's so cool. But anyways, if you know about this deck, comment down below and let me know like what's standard, what's not. You know, I don't know what this trap does, but I'm cool. But yeah, this deck is super sick. Wait a minute. No, there's no way. This is like the best card in the deck, isn't it? I could have sworn like every time I've seen this deck played, like this card's insane. It lets you summon 2, doesn't it? And it lets you summon 2 monsters from your deck if your opponent controls more monsters than you do. I guess you could just side it in for going second. I guess that makes sense. Okay, anyways, moving on. It's like a Cyberse combo deck. This is like Mathmech expanded with like Mathmech Code Talker combo. Yeah, honestly, it's probably just like a worse version of Mathmech, right? But it's still cool. It's definitely different than Mathmech. You know, it does different things. It ends on different stuff, which is cool. No like IP into stuff. It's probably gonna be ending on like Firewall, Heat Soul, Sign of Conflict, stuff like that. Which is pretty cool. Very interesting deck, you know. I like these cards. I like the like code cards, like Microcoder, Code Generator. I think they're very strong. I just think they require you to play so many excess cards in your deck for them to be like, used optimally. But I don't think they're like always worth it. But I definitely think they're good cards. And Dotscaper's also like, this card's insane. Side deck just like matchup stuff makes sense. Top 4, we got more Mathmech. This looks like a bit more standard, but still with like that Code Talker kind of stuff. You know, some more tech options for more consistency stuff. I think Lady T-Bug is a normal summon that's very good. I don't know why you're playing it in this deck when you have Diamond as your normal summon, but you know, sometimes you want to have more normal summons, and that works. Yeah. Baguska is also insane. I think this could be like more mainstream in Mathmech, and it wouldn't be bad because this card's like super good against a lot of stuff. But yeah, we'll see as time goes on. Numeron. So this is not the Numeron. Sorry for scrolling fast. This is not Numeron at Ignister. So apparently that Numeron at Ignister deck either doesn't exist or was in top 16 and not like is not featured on the like deck list page. Anyways, that looks pretty standard. You know, Memories of Hope. This card's so insane. If you resolve this card, like there's no way you lose. That card's so good. But yeah, this deck's so toxic. But it looks pretty standard. Nothing too crazy. Then finally we have a Mathmech at Ignister with Sign of Conflict. I don't really know why Wait a minute. What? Where's Arrival? Wow. No Arrival. That's crazy. I've never seen this card before. I've also never read it, but I'm going to read it now because I never read it before. If this card is link summoned, you can place counters on this card equal to the number of different types of Cyberse monsters in your graveyard. Ritual, Fusion, Synchro, Exceed. This card gains 2,500 attack for each counter on it during the battle phase only. Sorry, I lost my place. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can remove one counter from this card and negate the activation. Also, if this effect was activated between this card's attack declaration and the end of the damage step, this card can make another attack in a row. Wow, that's a weird card. I don't know why you're playing this, to be honest. Like, clearly the deck is trying to just establish, like, using the Administer package to link climb like crazy and just establish like a big link board and a lot of follow-up, a lot of resources, a lot of just like advantage, but not actually go for Arrival, which is very weird to me. I don't know why you would ever play this over Arrival. Like, might as well just play Arrival and end on, like, if you're trying to play Super Factorial, cool. Play like Super Factorial Arrival, right? Like, just go for that stuff. Like, it's hard to do, but you can go for it. You're also trying to like make Sonic Conflict live, which is also kind of crazy. There's just like so much being thrown into this deck that I feel like it's trying to accomplish so many different things that it's not actually accomplishing anything like to its like great potential. But it's a very interesting concept, and it's like Cyberse combo, like in like the most like untraditional, like non-traditional way possible. And I'm kind of here for that because I like it's unique. I like unique decks, but I just don't know like what your end goal is. Because Danmari like doesn't even work, right? You're not even playing Danmari because you don't have a Link 6. But anyways, extra deck looks super wild. I don't know why all these 1-ups are here. I don't even know what some of these cards do like this. But activate this card while you control an Administer monster. Each player can only link summon once per turn while this card is in your face-up spell and trap zone. Once per turn during the standby phase, tribute one link monster to destroy this card. It's wild that you're playing that, but that's crazy. Just a bunch of 1-ups. Super weird. I'm telling you guys, like these Eastern countries, like these Asian tournaments, they're wild. People come up with some crazy stuff. It's so cool sometimes. Anyways, moving on to top 8. This looks like way more like standard of a Mathmech. They're playing the Kachiri. I mean, this card's just good, right? This card's just like, it's just a good card. It's not that crazy. You're playing a lot more Mathmech names, which I don't necessarily hate. I like these cards okay. I personally don't like them as much as playing more of these extenders, but you know, it works. It works for you. 3 diameters. I think that's incorrect personally, but you know, it also works. 1 Bell, 1 Droll. You guys know how I feel about that. Super random, like why there's 1 of each of these. I think it should be 2 Drolls, 100%. I do not think Ogre is that good of a card right now. But it works. It works. I mean, like, it is good against Laplation. Like, I'll say that. Actually, it's not bad against Mathmech now that I think about it. Its applications are pretty solid against this deck. But, because usually, like, Imperms and Veilers are pretty, like, low impact against this deck. But Ghost Ogre, taking that body off board can be quite nice, I would say. So, it's interesting. Maybe I'll, like, reevaluate my opinions on Ogre for the format. But the format's about to end anyway, so that's another thing. But side deck pretty standard, just matchup dependent cards, going first or second cards. Moving on into the Decade Meta Weekly 51. Did I do the tournament breakdown for that? Yes, I did. So this one's got 119 participants, single elim bracket, 1 deck best of 3. This is, of course, the top 16 breakdown, but we're going to be going over the decks. First place was a Adventure Phantom Knights, so just 60 card Adventure Phantom Knights. It's just a grass deck, you know. It's Phantom Knight. It's not Adventure. I'm sorry. It's Burning Abyss Phantom Knights. I misspoke. My bad. So it's just like Phantom Knights with grass and a lot more BAs. You know, it just pretty much is the same stuff. Really cool deck. Is he scythe locking? No. Nice. I respect that. I respect that a lot. The inboards are pretty solid. You know, you know, like monster negates, like F-Zero, DPE, maybe a Masquerena, the ability to like, you know, go for Axis Code Game next turn. I think Dante's an amazing card. I wish you were playing Beatrice personally, because I think Beatrice is insane in this deck. You know, rank up Dante into Beatrice, but you might not be playing enough BAs for that to be functional. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're playing 10. It's probably worth it. You know, your odds are you're going to draw 1, so you can just discard 1 to rank up into Beatrice. Not bad at all, but you might also not have room for Beatrice, and you also won the tournament, and I didn't, so you probably know this deck better than I do. Moving on to second place. I shouldn't show this. This is toxic. Just kidding. This is like the rainbow, Runick deck. This card's super toxic. I lost this on the ladder a few days ago before this like did good in this tournament, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, why? Like, the Despia guy was playing it, and he was like, you're sending it off a branded fusion to then reactivate it from your graveyard, because like, if either player sets a spell / trap on the field while this card is in your graveyard, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. So you're just like sending it to the graveyard with branded fusion, then resetting it when you set something, or reactivating it when you set something. And it's crazy good. You know, it's like really, really good, especially in this deck, which you have so much control over your opponent's back row with like, now with Flashing Fire. With Destruction and Cosmic, you have so much control over what they have and don't have. So, resource management in this deck is insane. It's a really strong deck. It's a really strong combo, too. This is going to be played a lot, so just bring your Cosmics for it. That's all I can say. Yeah, extra deck's not important. Top 4 Swordsoul. 1 Bell, 1 Veiler. I'm not going to get mad at it, you know, we're playing... Oh, no, actually, I'm going to get kind of mad at it because we're in 42 card. No, actually, in Swordsoul doesn't really matter. But... you're not playing Nib. I dislike that. You're also not playing Crossout, so I really dislike the 1 of Veiler. Like, what's the point of playing 1 Veiler over Imperm? Imperm is just significantly better. But whatever. That's okay. That's neither here nor there. Bell I get. Bell's great right now. Not against Swordsoul, but against like everything else. It's really good. Tactics in Swordsoul doesn't really make that much sense. This is not the worst. I guess it's not that bad in Swordsoul, but anyways. Other than that, pretty standard list for the most part. No Shaman, playing Danglong over Shaman with no Yang Zing Trap. I think Shaman's good, personally, but Danglong's also pretty cool. Top 4 Phantom Knights. Junk Forward, I love this card. Wow. Fragile Armor and Greaves. That's kind of wild. There's no adventure in this. No Destiny Hero stuff either. So it's just like pure Phantom Knight, pure like rank 3 turbo. Playing Rongo? That's insane. How do you make Rongo in this? This guy, and then like one other one, and then this guy. You go for 4 material Rongo. Wow. That's really cool, actually. Alright. I take it back. This deck's cool. But it's like, obviously not as good as like regular Phantom Knights, but that's really cool. That's kind of sick. Top 8, we got another Swordsoul here. We're playing 40 cards. I like 40 cards personally, but you can go over 40 in Swordsoul. The deck is like hyper consistent, but I get not wanting to. Playing a lot of hand traps in 40. It's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. 11 hand traps in 40. It's kind of a lot. Not that many. Also no Crossout. Really weird. Don't know why you're not playing Crossout. No Imperms either. I don't get why people choose Veiler over Imperm. Imperm's just a better card. Especially in a deck like this. In Branded, I get it. Because you draw off Chimera. You don't want to have Imperm off. You don't want to draw Imperm off Chimera. But in a deck like this, you want Imperm. Like Imperm's just significantly better. Super Poly is for Despia and for Mister. It's pretty cool. I don't know how much you resolve this, but it is pretty cool, not gonna lie. You know, it's a solid option if you're frustrated with those decks, but overall, yeah, it's probably not the most consistent thing in the world. Also, I don't know you cut for it. What did you cut for it? Okay, you cut 1 monk and Xiaofang. Okay. Yeah, those are fine cuts. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Top 8, we got a Despia. I think this might be the first Despia list we've seen. That's crazy. Playing comedy, triple Albaz, basically no hand traps, just the maxis, surprise droplets. Just like this is more like a going second, just like turbo combo deck. You got to play Ash though. Like Ash is so good. But it worked for him. You got top 8. Nice. Madolche, 40 cards. No Pankratops. So where's your bridges? I guess Max C counts as a bridge. How do you bridge in this deck? It's gotta just... Your only bridge is really Max C? Unless I'm crazy. That's crazy. Usually this deck plays Pankratops to bridge off Small World. And it's also like just a good card. Also, you're playing 2 Max C. Stop playing 2 Max C. Play 3 Max C. It doesn't make any sense. But anyways, yeah, moving on. 1 Cosmic. Come on, bro. You're gonna be... Come on, bro. Nah, you need to play more than that. That's crazy. Extra deck. Looks fine. I don't really anything too crazy here. Yeah, nothing looks too crazy. Top 8 Runick. Yay, what a fun deck. This looks really standard, to be honest with you. Just a bunch of Floodgates, a bunch of Runick cards, a bunch of Consistency cards. Cool. Top 16 Mathmech. This looks super standard. I don't get Valor over Imperm. I really don't. Imperm is such a good card. Like, no, actually, no, that's not true. In this deck, I get it, because you got to be going for... No, you're not even going for Heat Soul in turn 1. You're going for Link Disciple plays. Why are you playing Valors over Imperms? Oh, wait, no, it actually does make sense in this deck, because it's Small World. Alright, I'm going to retract my statement. Small World, it makes sense, because you can bridge Valor, you can't bridge Imperm. Imperm's still better, though. You have so many bridges in this deck, you really don't need it like that, but... no, I do get that. I do get that. And also, like, if you're going for, like, Heat Soul turn 1, Imperm's not very good, because you might draw into Imperm with Heat Soul on board, and you can't activate Imperm. So, in that situation, if you're going for that turn 1, Imperm's bad. But in other situations, like, Imperm is, like, way better than Valor. But, I get it, because it's Small World. Top 16, I got a Swordsoul. I do not know why Mathmech is on here. This is the guy I lost to in Swiss. Not Swiss, in, like a round before top 32 or top 16 or whatever it is. Like, so I don't know why there's 2 decks on here, but he played Swordsoul against me, so that's what I'm going to judge. 1 Valor, Regeki, Duster, 1 Droplet, 1 Summit. Okay, I mean, it's not that crazy. It's not that bad. No Xiaofang, but you are playing Shin? What? You're also not playing the Sinister Longyan? That's wild. Okay, this guy's like a solid player. But like, there's some problems with this deck building. Like, I don't know why the other level 10's not here. I don't know why Xiaofang's not here. I don't know why this is being played over it. But neither here nor there. Also, like, some of the main deck choices really confused me, like, when I was playing against him. Like, he dustered me. And it didn't, like... I lost the game he dustered me, but it wasn't because he dustered me. I was kind of caught off guard by him dustering me. Like, I had this guy dead to rights. Games 1 and games 3, and I just completely punted. I just threw the game. Game 1, I thought I had a normal summon. So I, like, attacked in with my monk to put a worm in my graveyard to then main phase 2 summon Taya. Because I had to play around, like, his effect negate, his Grandmaster on board. I wanted to kill it with my level 10 Synchro, with my Chin Ying. I wanted to run over his Grandmaster with my Chin Ying and then main phase 2 normal summon Taya so I don't get negated and then go into a combo that way. But I forgot that I special summoned Ashuna, then normal summoned Bell to go into Chin Ying because I'm bad at this game. And I just like took 2,800 points of damage for literally no reason. And the next turn he killed me by he had 1,000 over lethal. So like I would have lived and I would have won the following turn if I didn't just attack for no reason. and just inflict a bunch of damage to myself. Game 3, I had a lethal line, and I calculated it, but it wasn't lethal on board. It was lethal if he would end on like with 600 like life points left, and I would end with Sinister Longyan on board. So basically, he couldn't special summon or activate a spell or trap because I would just burn him for game. But instead, I tried to like play around like Droplet or Dark Ruler for whatever reason, and like I went for a. But even like this play that I went for doesn't play around that, so I don't know why I did it. But I like went for a Chenying instead of a Sinister Longyan, and I just lost to Raigeki, and then he just like bounced this with Vishuda, and I just lost. No, he spun it back. He bounced with Vishuda, and I just lost. It's like it was super depressing. So like I had lethal, I had games 1, and then also like game 1. Well, game 1 I lost for like a lot of reasons, but mostly because I just attacked. But anyways, now I'm rambling about stuff you guys aren't even seeing on screen, so that's cool. But I completely punted against this guy. He won. He also won game 1 because the only reason he won game 1, the only reason he was able to lethal me, even though I basically self-inflicted 2,800 points of damage, was because he just top deck Summit. So like that, this card doesn't really seem that good to me, but in that situation, it was like the best card he could have ever drawn. But yeah. Anyways, moving on. This video is probably way too long. I'm sorry about that. There's an Agnister, Mathmech Agnister. This looks like super standard. Playing blue, red, playing all the different like color. Obviously, you're playing red. You're playing all of them though. You're playing blue and everything. Yeah, this looks like really standard. Playing Super Factorial in the main. Most people don't do this. That's kind of crazy, but I like it. Maybe this is standard at 2, because I see a lot of people playing 2 of this, but I think 3 is right. Because you've got to see this card to play. You know, if they Veiler or Imperm or Ash or Dark Infant, you're kind of screwed. But maybe 2 is correct. The extra deck here looks more standard with the arrival, stuff like that. So, cool. Top 16 Despia. Playing a Kaiju in the main because Agnister's getting popular. Droplets over hand traps. I don't hate that. Talents, pretty cool. Evenly's over hand traps, pretty cool. Lightning Storms as well. This is just a going second version. I wonder if they're blinding it. They probably are. Just blind going second. Which works. Nice. Agnister Mathmech once again. Wow. A lot of these decks. This one also looks very similar. Playing all the different colors. Playing the blue. Which this card's not mandatory, by the way. So if you see this, it's just people like trying to tech it in there. Not tech it in there, but play like have extra lines of play. And again, everyone's playing 2 island. Like, is this right? Like, is this correct? Wow, 0 are playing 3? There's no way. There's no way that's like actually correct. Like, I mean, obviously, it like kind of is correct because like everyone's doing it, but like, how can you not play 3 of this card? You need to draw it. You need to see it. That's crazy. But anyways. No, sorry about that, guys. But yeah, anyways. This looks like pretty standard. Playing Security Dragon as opposed to the other list. It wasn't, because the other list was playing Loplation. Is that correct? Is that what I just say? Is that correct? They're not playing the Pegasus thingy. Kind of surprised by that. Oh no, the Light Dragon, not Pegasus. My bad. Anyways. Floowandereeze with the water barrier statue. Wow. That's crazy. This is a searchable with Small World, basically. So, that's insane. But yeah. Gross. What a toxic deck. What a toxic deck. They just need to like... Yeah, they just need to get rid of these cards. Like, that's just so toxic. Like, just replace their old Floodgate with a new Floodgate. Whatever. Then top 16 Labyrinth. Yeah, this deck is also so toxic. It's just so disgusting. Bunch of Floodgates. Just a bunch of purple cards. Nothing too crazy. Bunch of Solemns. This card's really interesting. I don't think it's that good, to be honest with you, but it is kind of good. I don't know. But, yep. Anyways. That's a trap deck. Moving on to the last, but certainly not least, the Master Circuit Series 1. This was 256 player cap. It was not 256 players because a lot of people pre-dropped, which made me really salty because I wanted to play and I couldn't play. But, you know, that's how they decided to do it. It is what it is. Swiss was best. There was Swiss best of 1 rounds with 30-minute time limit. Best of 3 top cut with no time limit. 1 deck, 15 card side deck for top cut. 1 deck, no side deck for Swiss rounds. So here is the top 16 breakdown. There's 5 Mathmechs, 2 Swordsols, 2 Despias, 2 Adamancipators, 2 Ignisters, the Ignister Mathmech, 1 Marincess, 1 Thunder Dragon, branded Thunder Dragon, and 1 Subterror. Wild at Subterror top of this event, but that's crazy to me. First place was a branded Despia, main deck in Kaijus. Not actually the worst meta call, to be honest with you. Like, this is not like a bad meta call considering there were so many ad Ignisters. So pretty smart to do this. The rest of the deck I don't know about. I mean, like, there's a lot of sketchy stuff here. You're playing 3 kits, like that's wild. You're playing 2 Max C, so incorrect, but in neither here, like, whatever, you know, that works, I guess. Only playing the 1 Cosmic. Despia does not play around Runick very well. You know, Despia does not play around like Floodgates very well without comedy. You're not playing comedy, you're only playing 1 Cosmic. Very bold choice, but it worked. I mean, what can you say? Like, it worked. I mean, he did it. So, kudos. Side deck, just back row stuff, which probably should have been the main deck for Swizz, but, you know, again, whatever. More Kaijus. Really weird side deck. I don't really know what's going on here, to be honest. But anyways, second place, we had another... Well, how many cards was that? 40 cards? Second place, we had a branded. Playing the Shaddolls stuff, so probably playing Winda. I don't hate that. I mean, it's pretty good, all things considered. It does lose to, like, 1 branded fusion, but it's not that bad. It absolutely just solos, like, Swordsoul. Like, it just solos Swordsoul, pretty much solos Mathmech, but it loses pretty hard to branded, so there's pros and cons to it. It's also a free draw. Like, you just get a free draw off Shaddolls Beast, which is really nice. If I was playing this package, I would also be playing Dragon in the main board, just so I could, like, branded fusion into something and pop a back row. So that'd be pretty nice. Because theoretically, you could, like, go branded fusion. If they have skill drain, you could go branded fusion, send Albaz and Dragon to summon Lebellion. Lebellion Chainlink 1, Dragon Chainlink 2. So use Lebellion Chainlink 1, discard for cost. Dragon Chainlink 2, pop the skill drain, and then your Lebellion's going to resolve. So you can play around skill drain like that. They would also have had to have activate skill drain earlier on, so you know which one to pop. Unless Dragon can't pop face-ups, which I don't think that's the case. Should probably type in Shaddoll Dragon. Yeah, no, it's just target 1 spell trap on the field and pop it. So, like, I mean, that works. So, like, I would do that if I was playing this, but, you know, I'm also not playing this. So, there's that. But, anyways, my 2 cents. Yeah. Also, no matter, like, how, like, this guy came in 2nd place. You know, kudos to him. Played wonderful, I'm sure, to most of the tournament. I don't know, like, whatever. There's no world in which Imperm is correct in Despia over Veilers. You're playing, like, 1 Veiler and 2 Imperms, which makes absolutely no sense because you're drawing cards off Chimera on your opponent's turn. If you branded in red, go for a Chimera on your opponent's turn and draw 2 cards, or draw 1 card, and you draw into an infinite impermanence, that card is dead. You cannot play it because you have cards on the field, right? Card or cards on the field. Whereas Effect Veiler, it doesn't matter, right? You can just play this card, drawing it off Chimera. It's also a light, so there's almost no situation in any Despia deck where Imperm is better. I see so many people making that mistake, but, you know, this guy also got 2nd, so, you know, kudos to him. I'm sure he won a lot of money doing this, which is good for him, but that's just my 2 cents, and I just think it's important to note that. Side deck, bunch of just good side deck cards for Despia. You know, Zombie World's pretty mandatory. Even in this format? Yeah, even in this format, it's really good. Probably don't need, you do not need 3 and 2, but, he probably didn't really care what he played in the side deck because he probably didn't know if he was gonna, make it. But anyways, moving on to top 4. This was Mathmech adding Nister. This is the guy everyone was losing their mind over. I mean, he made a really cool play in top 4, but I want to like just put this out there, like everyone thinking like he made like the most like big brain play ever. He made a very standard Mathmech adding Nister play. Like it's nothing like that insane. The guy knows how to play the deck, and he played the deck correctly, right? But I just want to like put that out there. Also, one island. This makes it doesn't make any sense to me. How do people get away with this? If I deck build like this, I'm losing like every single time because my Dark Infant is getting ashed or veilered like 99 times out of 100. Like there's no way this works, but it does somehow for this guy. Like that's crazy. But anyways, he also like sided into like the more heavy Mathmech engine, which I really like. I think that's really cool. But I don't know how correct it is, but I think it's really cool. I used to do this back in TCG, back in like 2011. I would like side out, like I would play game 1 with like my main deck, and then I would side out my entire engine, and then side in a completely new engine to troll people for game 2. So they would side deck for the wrong deck basically, because like back then, like the deck was just like, the decks were like, you could basically like swap engines like super easily. You could go from like agents to injectors just like that, right? Now I think those decks were live at the same time. This is so long ago, but I just used to troll people in TCG doing that. And this kind of reminds me of that, but obviously it wasn't trolling. It was for competitive purposes, and it works. It's pretty nice. But anyways, top 4. This is one of my teammates, so shout out to him. He played really well. We were all hoping he was going to win, but, he wasn't able to, sadly. He's also playing one island. What? How does this happen? Okay, I mean, if he's playing it, like, I guess, I trust him as a player, because he performs very well in a lot of these tournaments. But, like, how? How does this happen? How do you get away with one island? Doesn't make any sense. That's insane. But, yeah, it works. Other than that, the deck looks pretty standard. Nothing too crazy. Talons is so good in best of 1. Side deck pretty standard stuff. This card's really cool actually. I don't know how like applicable it is to like the metagame, but it's pretty cool. Top 8, we had a Swordsoul, 43 cards. Lots of hand traps here. Playing 3 bells, going really hard against the Mathmech stuff. Playing bells, veilers, imperms, everything. You're playing everything. Only 2 circles though. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Pretty standard list overall. Nothing too crazy. Action deck really standard. Side deck super standard. Top 8, we had a Adamancipator. 49 cards. Really weird number. But I guess the math just worked out to where it worked because this guy, got top 8. Pretty cool. Buster Lock, while it's still a thing. This was like old ban list, so Union Carrier was allowed. That's an Adamancipator deck for you. Side deck. Token Collector is really good. Marincess. It's crazy this deck topped. I mean, it's not that crazy. Like, this deck's solid. It's basically just a Cyberse combo. It's just a Cyberse deck, that does Cyberse things. It's just slightly worse than Salad, Adagnister, and Mathmech, in my opinion. But it's pretty cool this worked. Yep. Not too bad. It's Toad. One last ride for the Toad. A second Bahamut in the side, really weird. Just a bunch of hand traps. Other than that, top 8 Miranda Despia, 59 cards. I'm pretty sure this was 60. There's probably just a mistake on here, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know what the last card would have been. Oh, I'm assuming it's just a 3rd Thunder Dragon Dark. I would assume. But I might be wrong. I don't know. We'll see. 3 snow? You're crazy. That's insane. I mean, it's not that crazy. Like, because you can, like, discard it very easily in this deck. But that's I've never seen someone play 3 snow. But that's cool. Yeah, you know, it works for you. Whatever works, whatever works. Whatever works is whatever works. Yeah. Siding red reboot in 60. There's no way you drew that consistently. Actually, I'm pretty sure he drew that against my teammate. But I don't know. I know someone red rebooted him. Anyways, that is gonna do it for this past week's meta report. This video was probably way too long, so I'm sorry about that. But also not really sorry because my first video back. Might as well just like keep on rambling. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in the video. Stay tuned. I'm going to be doing a tier list as soon as the new pack drops. Whenever that is, like probably Sunday night, so probably on Monday or Tuesday, I'll release like a new tier list. You know, talking about whatever the new meta looks like. Probably also do an update video for like the new packs, so on and so forth. And yeah, I'll try to get also another meta report out for next week, concluding this format that we're currently in. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. If this was too long for you, I'm sorry about that. If you've been watching this whole time, thank you so much. You are a real one. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.